Ready, boys?
From Austin, Texas, Austin City Limits presents John McEuen, host for an hour of bluegrass and authentically American music. Among those joining him on stage are Vassar Clements and Byron Berline, two of the best and best-known fiddlers around, plus Brian Savage, whose hauntingly beautiful flute solos lend a unique dimension to tonight's music. John's special guest is classic folk artist Elizabeth Cotten, who wrote and sings the folk standard Freight Train. John himself is best known as a member of the Dirt Band. Tonight, you'll see and hear how versatile his music can be on Austin City Limits.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My name's John McEuen, and decided to come down to Austin tonight to do the show, and brought some friends of mine along, and it's going to be a good night. Thanks for coming. Thanks all to you for coming, too. I'd like to start off the evening telling you people a story. It's a story about a kid that lives up in the mountains all by himself and has nothing to do all day and all night but learn how to play the fiddle. Finally, one day, he gets up enough courage to go into the big city and enter one of those fiddle contests. Up in the mountains, it's lonesome all the time. Soft winds blowing through a sweet potato vine. Up in the mountains, it's lonesome for a child. Whippoorwills are calling as the sap runs wild. Up in the mountains, mountains in the fog, everything's as lazy as an old hound dog. Now, I was born in the mountains, never raised a pet. I don't want nothing and haven't got it yet. I was born in the mountains, lonesome born, raised running ragged to the cockleburrs and corn. I never knew my pappy, maybe never should. I think he was a fiddle made of mountain laurel wood. I never had a mammy to teach me pretty please. I think she was a whippoorwill a-skitting through the trees. I never had a brother nor a whole pair of pants. But when I start to fiddle, you gotta start to dance. Listen to my fiddle, kingdom come, kingdom come. Hear the frogs a-chunkin', jug-a-rum, jug-a-rum. Hear that mountain whippoorwill being lonesome in the air, and let me tell you how I traveled to the Essex County Fair. Now, Essex County's got a mighty pretty fair. All the smarty fiddlers from the South come there. Elbows flying as they rosin up the bow for that first prize contest in the Georgia Fiddler Show. Well, there's old Dan Whelan with whiskers in his ears. He's been the kingpin fiddler for nearly 20 years. And Big Tom Sargent with his blue walleye, and little Jimmy Weezer, well, he can make a fiddle cry. They're all sitting around spitting high and strutting proud, tuning and tuning what the judges told the crowd. Them that gets the mostest claps will win the bestest prize. Well, everybody's waiting for that first tweedly-dee. When in comes a stumbling hillbilly me. Well, I bowed right pretty to the judges and the rest, took a silver dollar from a hole inside my vest, I punked it on the table, and I said, now there's my calling card. Anyone that licks me is going to have to fiddle hard. Old Dan Whelan, he was laughing fit to holler. Little Jimmy Weezer said, there's one dead dollar. Big Tom Sargent, he just had a yeller toothy grin, so I tucked my whippoorwill spang underneath my chin and petted it and tuned it until the judges said begin. Well, Big Tom Sargent was the first in line. Now, he could fiddle all the bugs off a sweet potato vine. He could fiddle down a possum from a mile-high tree, fiddle up a whale from the bottom of the sea. You could hear hands spanking till they spanked each other raw when he finished his variations of turkey in the straw. Little Jimmy Weezer was the next to play. He could fiddle all night and he could fiddle all day. He could fiddle chills. He could fiddle fever. He could make a fiddle rustle like a lowland river. He could even make a fiddle croon like a loving woman. And they clapped like thunder when he finished strumming. Well, then came the ruck of the bobtailed fiddlers. The let's go easies and the fair to middlers. They got their claps and lost their bicker, and they all settled back for some more corn liquor. Well, the crowd got tired of their no-count squealing. And right then out in the center stepped old Dan Whelan. Why, he fiddled high and he fiddled low. Listen, whippoorwill, you gotta spread your wings. He fiddled and he fiddled with a cherrywood bow. Old Dan Whelan's got bee honey on his strings. He fiddled the wind by the lonesome moon. He fiddled a most almighty tune. Why, he started fiddling like a ghost. He ended fiddling like a host. He fiddled north, then he fiddled south. He fiddled the heart right out of your mouth. He fiddled here and he fiddled there. He fiddled salvation everywhere. And when he was finished, the crowd cut loose. I sat there wondering, what's the use? But I stood up pert and I took my bow and my fiddle went to my shoulder so. And I thought, well, there ain't no crowd to get me phased. Because I was alone where I was raised. Up in the mountains, so still it makes you scared. Where God lies sleeping in his big white beard. And I thought, well, they fiddled the rose and they fiddled the thorn, but they haven't fiddled the mountain corn. They fiddled sinful and they fiddled moral, but they haven't fiddled the brushwood laurel. They fiddled loud and they fiddled still, but they still haven't fiddled the whippoorwill. So I started off with a dump diddle dump and all hell broke loose in Georgia. Skunk cabbage growing by a bee gum stump. Whippoorwill, you're singing now. My mother was a whippoorwill pert. My father, he was lazy. But I'm hell broke loose in a new store shirt to fiddle all Georgia crazy. Swing your partners up and down the middle. Sashay now, listen to my fiddle. Flapjacks flipping on a red hot griddle and hell's broke loose. Hell's broke loose. Fire in the mountains, snakes in the grass. Satan's here about, and oh Lord, let him pass. Go down, Moses, set my people free. Hop goes the weasel in the old Red Sea. Jonah sitting on a hickory bough. Left him so well. Where's your prophet now? Rabbit in the pea patch, possum in the pot. Trying to stop my fiddle, and my fiddle's getting hot. Sing to the mountains, little whippoorwill. Sing to the valleys and slap them with the hill, cause now you're strutting high as an eagle's quill. And hell's broke loose, hell's broke loose, hell's broke loose in Georgia. You know something? There wasn't a sound when I stopped bowing, but somewhere or other the dawn was growing. I thought, no, I fiddled all night and lost. You were pretty good, hillbilly, but you've been bossed. So I went over to congratulate old man Dan. But when I walked up to him, he put his fiddle into my hand. And then the noise of the crowd began. Thank you.